Hello and welcome. In this video, we will explore the background of morality, law and religion, and morality which governs human behavior, decision making, and societal norms. Before we go on board on our exploration, let's take a moment to reflect on why understanding morality and ethics is essential. Morality and ethics form the very foundation of human interactions, shaping our relationships, institutions, and the world at large. They guide us in distinguishing between right and wrong, good and bad, and help us navigate the complexities of life's moral dilemmas. Ethics is a branch of axiology, which is practical philosophy and studies the nature of values, which together with metaphysics, logic, and epistemology constitutes philosophy. Ethics attempts to find out the nature of morality and to define and distinguish what is right from what is wrong. Ethics is also called moral philosophy. Ethics, according to Manuel G. Villegas, is a study of moral standards whose purpose is to determine whether a given moral standard or moral judgment is based on any standard more or less which is correct. To many philosophers, ethics is just a code of conduct. Epicurus, the philosopher, defined ethics as a science that deals with things to be sought and things to be avoided, with the ways of life and with telos, which means the chief aim or end in life. Philosophers have been discussing ethics at least for more than 2500 years, since the time of Socrates and Plato, but they have not been able to arrive at an acceptable definition. So when we sum up ethics as a moral and normative science, it refers to principles that define good human behavior and what is right and what is wrong. Now let's understand morality and law. Philosopher James Rachel suggests two criteria fulfilling a minimum conception of morality: reason and partiality. Now, what is impartiality and reason? By the use of this, Rachel means that a moral decision must be based on reasons acceptable to other rational persons. The criterion of impartiality is fulfilled when the interest of all those affected by a moral decision are taken into account. Thus, following Rachel, any legitimate moral theory must meet the test of reason and impartiality. For example, Gandhiji's act during the Dandi Yatra, breaking the British imposed salt tax law, was an example of civil disobedience. While it defied British law, it was not considered immoral. William Shaw, in his book Business Ethics, brings to focus two contexts to illustrate the situation. An action can be illegal but morally right. Consider the scenario of a person who shelters individuals fleeing from a cruel regime, providing them with food, shelter, and safety, despite knowing that harboring refugees is against the law of their country. While their actions may be deemed illegal, according to the government statutes, many would argue that morally they are doing the right thing by offering assistance to those in need, potentially saving lives and upholding the principles of compassion and humanity. An action that is legal can be morally wrong. For example, a profit-earning company, anxious to retain its top management, sacks hundreds of its workers to save money to pay the former. This act may be perfectly legal but morally unjustified. Then how do we understand the relationship between law and morality? Generally, the law codifies a nation's ideal norms, customs, and moral values. However, changes in law can take place to reflect the conditions of the time in which they are pronounced. For instance, during the British rule in India, several laws were enacted that benefited the colonial power against the interests of the natives. To keep those laws, even after independence, would not only be outdated, but also totally out of place. There is a clear-cut difference between law and morality. In a particular situation, an act can be legal, but will not be morally right. For example, it will be legal for an organization which is running in a loss to lay off a few employees so as to exist in the business situation. But it is not morally right to do so because the employees will find it difficult to find a living. On the other hand, an action performed can be illegal but morally derived. For example, during the World War, in Hitler's Germany, it was illegal to help Jewish family to hide from the Nazis. but it was a morally admirable act. In the organization too, we find such situations where an act will be morally right and legally wrong to perform. So let's look at this and consider a hypothetical scenario where a country's law allows the discrimination based on gender in employment. What do you think? Is the action legal but morally wrong, or the action is illegal but morally right? You can please pause the video and write down your answers. Welcome back. Let's discuss the scenario. While the law permits such discrimination, many would argue that it is morally wrong, as it is promoting inequality and denies equal opportunities based on gender. Despite being legal, the practice goes against principles of fairness, equality, and human rights, making it morally questionable. So, the action is legal but morally wrong. Now, let's understand how our moral standards are formed. There are some moral standards that may share in the conduct in the society. These moral standards are influenced by a variety of factors, such as the moral principles we accept as a part of our upbringing, values passed to us through our heritage and legacy, the religious beliefs that we have imbibed from childhood, the values that have showcased during the period of our education, the behavior pattern of those who are around us, the explicit and implicit standards of our culture, life experiences, and more importantly, a critical reflection on those experiences. Moral standards concern behavior which is very closely linked to human being. Religion and morality. Many people believe that morality originates from religion, which provides its followers its own set of models, instructions, beliefs, values, traditions, and commitments. Let's take Christianity as an illustration. It offers its believers a view that they are unique creatures of the divine intervention that has endowed them with consciousness and ability to love. For the Christian, the way to do this is to emulate the life and example of Jesus Christ, who was the very embodiment of love and sacrifice. What greater love and sacrifice there can be than to lay down one's life for the sake of those whom you love? Key teachings of Islam talks about monotheism, that is, believe in one God, Allah, prophethood, acceptance of Muhammad as the final messenger and respect of all earlier prophets, revelation, Quran as God's literal word guiding Muslims. 5 pillars of Islam are faith declaration, daily prayers, charity, fasting in Ramadan, and pilgrimage to Makkah. Now, social justice, emphasis on charity, compassion, and fairness, respect, valuing people of all faiths, and promoting justice in interactions. These principles form the foundation of Islamic faith and practice. Hinduism, the major religion in India, does not provide one acceptable source of moral standards. The Hindu view of moral standard is drawn from the various religious beliefs and texts, such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Panchatantra, and many other religious texts. One of the fundamental areas of agreement which can be called the Indian religious tradition is the theory of karma, the doctrine of the soul and the doctrine of mukti, freedom. Hindu religious traditions agree in the belief that a person's action leave behind the power to determine joy or sorrow in the person's future birth. The Bhagavad Gita also underlies the fact that a person has a choice in action, but never in its outcome. Therefore, people should concentrate on their actions without worrying about the results that they will bring. William Shaw quotes the most religious important mandate, which is found by almost all major religions of the world. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It terms the golden rule. This injunction epitomizes one of the man's highest moral ideals. To summarize today's discussion, we examined the foundations of morality, law, and religion, and discussed how moral standards are shaped. We have also considered scenarios where legality and morality may conflict, highlighting the importance of ethical reasoning in our decisions. Stay tuned until we meet again for our next video. Till then, keep exploring why understanding morality and ethics is essential for taking decisions in our day-to-day life.